Number 22, Luigi Delguera. Number 23, Charlie Beaton. Number 36, Dean Mutney. Number 55, Gabriel Claudio. Number 73, Robert Gray. And number 77, Stephen Banner. The head coach of Stallion Laguna FC is Mr. Ernie Nieras. Ladies and gentlemen, let's meet our match officials. The referee of this match is Raymond de los Santos. The assistant referees are Paul Galicia and Manuel Balila.
And it all boils down to this, the final match of the regular season to determine who will be the champion of the 2024-2025 Philippines Football League season. Kaya-FC Iloilo need the win. And should they draw or fall to Stallion Laguna, that trophy will go the way of Manila Digger. So glad you could join us right here on matchday.ph and on the YouTube page of the Philippines Football League. Alongside Chiara Fontanilla and Dennis Lucindo, this is Clara Manzano as we will be bringing you the commentary for this one. It is a virtual final right here, but Kaya-FC Iloilo not playing against their title contenders, but in a long-time rival in Stallion Laguna. Just like them, a founding club of the Philippines Football League, and their rival predates the PFL.
Well, magandang gabi Pilipinas, magandang gabi Claro at Kiara. We are here on the 90th match of 90 league matches scheduled for this season, and we still don't know who's going to be crowned the league champion. I cannot remember a situation like this ever in the history of the Philippines Football League or even the UFL. But here we are today with a championship to be decided by this final match between Kaya-FC Iloilo and Stallion Laguna. As it stands, Kaya is now 2 points behind Stallion FC in the standings and 90 minutes to decide whether they leave Binyan Football Stadium with smiles and cheers or leave in tears having come so close.
Well, one thing's for sure, the neutrals are going to enjoy this one. But if you're the Manila Digger side, you wrapped up your game, you are going to tensely watch this one. For Kaya-FC on the other hand, it's all up to them. They can control things. But for Digger, the anxiety, because you have to rely on this result, and you will watch, of course, potentially helplessly. But let's take a look at the league table to just put into writing what we've been talking about. Manila Digger topped the table thanks to their win over Loyola FC, a statement W, and Kaya, as we see, are going to play their 18th game of the season. Same goes for Stallion Laguna, but unfortunately for Stallion, they are out of the final series race. A win here will still keep them on 5th. But let's look at the numbers, Kiara. It's just been that type of season.
For sure, everything has been really close in competition. Like obviously with Manila Digger and Kaya always switching back and forth in the top 1 and 2, and obviously now with Taguig sitting in 3rd and now Cebu solidifying their spot after their tie against Davao. Like it's been such an exciting second half of the season. First half was a bit lackluster when it comes to excitement, but this, like Sir Dennis said, it's coming to the last game.
So pretty much what is going on in the first half of the season just set pace for what's going to go on right here. As we see again, 43 points for Manila Digger, 41 for Kaya FC, and would you say it's fun in the perspective of a player to be in a scenario like this?
Oh yeah, it definitely is. Like obviously this is such an important game because if Kaya wins, they get 3-peat champions. And obviously they want to repeat that, make more history as a club, and obviously solidify their spot going into the ACL. So, it's going to be a battle to the end for sure. It
must have been a pressure-packed season for these guys. But for Kaya, the Hunters continue to be hunted, but will they make it 3 straight titles? As we see our midfield right here, they're lining up as a 4-3-3, but you could expect that to be you could expect that to turn into a 4-1-4-1 as they carry on with the game. But Joven Bedic will be leading things up front. He's been coming off the bench as of late. And do you have any impressions, Karen Dennis, in this lineup, which has Freddy Cortez in goal also?
Well, we can expect Yamazaki to take his spot in the 6, in the slot right there. Kaishi Yamazaki, one of the best 6s in the league this season and last season. Bedic, Shuto Komaki is there on the right. Pocholo Bugas is the surprise start he's not consistently started this season, but there he is now, and he'll be taking up the left wing.
The stacked midfield of Kaya-FC Iloilo is missing Eric Esso because he is serving a suspension when we recall those 2 yellows early on in that game of theirs which was versus Manila Digger.
It was against Manila Digger over in the second game in Iloilo, in the Iloilo Sports Center. So that's gonna hurt them a bit. Eric Eso, probably the best attacking mid in the PFL this season, but he's not here today in this penultimate game on their schedule.
And it is a 3-4-3 formation for Stallion Laguna for Coach Ernie and Coach Clint. Coach Ernie is back again after missing the series of games at Cebu. And it's Rockin Placito in the center, Roberto Llamas in goal, who's been their usual from the start of the season. Finn McDaniel up front. Sea-Dog Schaffner and Ricky Senja will be the wingbacks right here. Stephen Ham getting the nod with his usual center back spot in the back three.
And we see the captain's armband back on the arm of Matthew Nieras.
Interesting because it was Finn McDaniel wearing the armband despite of Nieras still being in the starting 11. But let's take it to the pitch for our pre-match walk-in. At ito na po mga match officials natin ngayong gabi for match number 90. Si Raymar de los Santos ay ang referee natin ngayon at ang kanyang mga assistants ay si Paul Galicia at Relly Balila. Si Timothy De Castro ay ang fourth official. Ang referee assessor ay si Noel Marquez and si Miss Cristina Ramos ay ang ating match commissioner. Ori Menzi, the captain, and it's Matt Nieras for Stallion.
At habang pinapakilala mo ang ating mga huwes ngayong gabi sa labanan na ito, let me take this opportunity to thank all the hard-working local organizing committee members, volunteers, and the referees, linesmen, referee assessors. This season and the last season has been the epitome of bayanihan among the different stakeholders of our professional football league. So maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat. And before we kick off, we've got 90 minutes to go. Kiara Fontanilla, take us to the kickoff.
As these two teams line up, obviously they both have a little bit on the line, more so Kaya FC, with having to win this game to solidify their top spot as champions in the league. Obviously, unfortunately for Stallion, they are out of the contending for the top four, but they're still going to be playing for pride, still going to be representing, obviously, Laguna, where we are now. And, you know, they have something to prove. Obviously, they're going against the top dogs right now. And from their last game against Kaya FC, they did not have they didn't have the greatest result that they wanted. So now, obviously, maybe after all this time, they took a step back to be able to see what went wrong and hopefully make these changes and maybe come out with a win.
Okay, on your screens as kicking off in their Bumblebee yellow and black is Kaya FC Iloilo, and playing right to left in their all-white strip, Stallion Laguna FC.
Joven Bidic will kick off this game. And if you're Kaya, of course, these are moments you dream of as a kid. This is what dreams are made of. This is where legends are made.
So you're quoting Lizzie McGuire now?
Part of that, yes. As Joven Bidik got this game underway. Fami Ibrahim, he was a DNP in that last game versus Cebu.
DNP, but on the bench and getting a rare start is Fami Ibrahim on the left side.
Here was the throw in for Mardiano. Stephen Hams said no.
Well, look at the talent on the left side of that Stallion Laguna. Fami Ibrahim, Christian Schaffner, Alfonso Del Mundo, all talented players.
As Mardiano will give us another throw in. And from that group you mentioned, Schaffner and Del Mundo are Filipino. Del Mundo listed as a foreigner. He's working on his
Del
passport.
Mundo is not yet a Filipino technically. He qualifies though for a Philippine passport. Schaffner has his Philippine passport and has had a call up to the national team camp the last time they had a camp over at the Middle East. Fami Ibrahim, American, went to Duke University, played in the US NCAA and did quite well for himself there. On the right side, fully local, Matthew Nieras, Argentinian, Ricky Sendra,
OJ Porteria also.
OJ Porteria getting the start over Juan Galeana Trujillo on the right side. So a few changes here to the lineup of Coach Ernie Nieras.
And OJ Porteria is returning from a leg injury, a thigh injury, as we've heard. Well, they'll need that veteran presence. But when we talk about veteran presence, the Stallion have a lot of pieces here and there, but sadly, in their perspective, 5th place is a lock. You definitely expect more.
Well, you know, it's not. They do have a lot of great pieces. I mean, Sendra, Shrock, Placito. But football is not played on paper. There's more to it than your skill, your experience. There's also chemistry. There's a dynamic there as that ball is fed in. Went past Finn McDaniel. Now here, Fami Ibrahim. Weak effort from Finn McDaniel's left foot.
And there was the save from Freddy Cortez. This is the first time Freddy is playing against his former club, Stallion.
Well, Freddy Cortez, another one of the half the population of the league that has gone through the doors of Coach Ernie Nieras.
Placito got this to Porteria. And Placito served the suspension in that game of theirs versus Cebu. The second game versus Cebu. And he was sorely missed in the midfield as the Gentle Giants got that win to pretty much seal their fate in the final series.
Well, ours is not a long calendar by any stretch. I mean, these teams play 18 games. Abe Placito has seen himself sit out due to suspension on several occasions. What you look for in your midfield along your spine is stability. Just like in the human body where you want your spine to be stable, so is it in a professional football team. And Abe Placito, having had to sit out several occasions, doesn't help that cause tremendously.
There was a fall between Shraki and Bedik as Cortez punched that one out.
Good punch by Freddy Cortez as it ensures the no goal going high and wide, and it's able to allow Kaya to reset.
And it takes nerves of steel to play in games like these, right, Kiara?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I'm calling it now and I'm getting really nervous.
How do you think I feel?
Well, you're a player, so
Exactly.
you have those nerves of steel.
Sometimes.
Sometimes. Except when there's thunder, right?
Oh, yeah, then those are shot. I go under the table like I did last game.
So the other noise we hear in the stands is actually coming from Manila Diggers fans who've stuck around. They, of course, want to wait and see if their team wins the championship tonight. And for tonight, Digger fans are behind Stallion Laguna.
Their good old friend, Stallion Laguna, after they had quite a matchup last time around.
Like many things, many players, many actors in this league, they are frenemies. Of course, Coach Ernie Nieras and Paul Tolentino of Kaya are frenemies on and off the pitch.
It's on the left, Pocholo Bogas versus Matt Nieras. Homegrown players going at it. They slid it to Yamazaki up against Placito. Angeles returned it to Kaishu. Here's the Japanese connection. It will be Shuto. So in the last 4 goals Kaya scored, Shuto Komaki did bag an assist. As the flag was raised here. No, not the flag, but a foul.
No, a handball on, I think it was on Bedek. He unfortunately tried to chest the ball easily, but he extended his left arm to bring the ball down.
And that's why we have you guys, of course, to educate us with your analytical lens. What's going on the field. You've been there, of course. And that's what you do, of course, with you being an active player, Kiara. As Sea-Dog got it to Fami. Diano trying to link up with Shuto. They'll bring it up bit by bit. Getting their game going.
Beautiful interplay until the last loose pass by Shuto Komaki. Uncharacteristic loose pass as Christian Schaffner drives it to the middle. Finn McDonald's going to be yards offside. Referee lets it go and Freddy Cortez to collect and redistribute. And in the back, in front of him, Simone Rota and Akito Saito.
It's Shuto taking on Del Mundo. Things getting physical. Referee allowing it a bit, but there was a warning. Komaki. Manieras couldn't get it. Pocholo to chase, but it was out already as we saw. But you do not want to have those moments at all as the back line.
No, you don't want a clear ball and a clear path given to Pocholo Bugas.
Pocholo Bugas, of course, a Philippines international. Before carrying on to Kaya, well, he is on loan.
He is on loan from a Cambodian team.
Melisa taking on Mr. Incredible. Jovin. Kaishu playing his game. Shuto Komaki cutting inside. Nieras versus Melisa, but the shot of Shuto was blocked. Angeles couldn't shoot. It was blocked. And Bugas will try to collect, but it is eventually outside. It will still stay with the defending champs who are looking to make it 3 in a row.
Looks like Stephen Ham was hurt in that last sequence. Probably one of those blocked shots. The other shot blocked by Alfonso Del Mundo. Early minutes, in the 8th minute. Stephen Ham, who has been quite instrumental playing center back for Stallion Laguna.
He's been that Superman for them in that role and has truly cemented his spot in that team. I love to be flying the wall here. I think it's the usual conversation, Stephen saying, I shouldn't go out of the field, but when you receive treatment, you have to step off.
There is no choice. That is a hard and fast rule in professional football. When you receive treatment, you have to go out.
Except when you're a goalkeeper.
Even if you're not hurt, except for a goalkeeper.
If you're Chiara Fontanilla, Freddy Cortez, or Roberto Llamas.
These privileged goalkeepers. Oh, sorry, Chiara. You're there on the mic.
Thanks.
Of course.
But it's true, though. Sometimes we can use that to our advantage. Say if we are up, if our team is up, and we have to quote unquote.
So there's time wasting also in women's football.
Sure.
Whoa!
That is time wasting, but it's intentional. Unlike the other one, they like to with men, they like to fake it.
Okay. As we get back to the action, Fami Ibrahim taking on 2 defenders.
The likes of Mardiano
and Kaishi Hamazaki.
Shiraki has a personal successful record against KFC, oftentimes winning. Will he carry that with him now that Shiraki is in a different team?
Oh, that's got to be a foul.
No whistle by the referee. John Melisa, only Stephen Hom there. But that was wide already upon the hit from Jan.
As Sir Dennis just said, he said that maybe that would have been a foul, but I think it was just body-to-body contact. I don't think there was any intentional hit. Both of them had the eye on their ball, and we'll see.
Stephen, over to Ricky Sendra.
But Stephen Ham was pulled back, so the referee had whistle to lips. And all he had to do was blow.
Decided not to.
Decided
Play
not
goes
to.
on.
Play goes on.
As it will be a throw-in for Kaya on the left side this time around. You see the roadside crew, understandably, a little more in numbers. Oh, but oftentimes strong though. I believe that's a Stallion banner also on the opposite end, right there.
That's the Binyan Bakod Barkada over there.
As it's a call against Cholo. No good for him in that roll of the dice. Placito returned it to Del Mundo. Released because there is Jan Meliza. Same goes for Fami up against Diano. Sea-Dog Schaffner beating Kaishu. Sending it into the goalkeeper box. OJ couldn't keep it in.
Inches away and 2 kilometers per hour short of keeping that ball in was OJ Porteria. One of his few starts in a very short season so far with Stallion Laguna FC. He, of course, came in during the last transfer window together with Stefan Schrock.
I like some Mark Hartman also, who is
And Mark
listed,
Hartman.
listed as not playing today. Interesting.
Dangerous challenge by Maru Angeles into the back of the legs of Finn McDaniel.
And Del Mundo will get this back to Shraki. Taking on Shuto. And with assists, Shuto Komaki actually leads the tournament with 7. He's been on a roll as of late. Fami using his speed and agility, but just stopped easily with the positioning of Angeles. Jan Meliza now hits the turbo.
And maybe this is something that Kiara can provide some insight on. Because on the Kaya roster, there are some very, very talented young players. I mean, you're talking of Martina Ray, Basindanan, but they hardly get playing time under Coach Yu Hoshide. Is it a situation where Coach Yu puts a lot of value in veteran experience?
I wouldn't say that he puts value in just veteran experience. I think obviously through the weeks of training and the days of training that they go through, because he does it with us, he moves a lot of pieces around to see what works. And obviously going up against a team such as Stallion Laguna, he has to use what is working for the team. Unfortunately, like if that means some of the younger players, like you just mentioned, don't play, unfortunately that's just the draw that he takes, because not everyone's gonna play, and it's something as professional athletes a lot of us have to deal with. Like I have to deal with it a lot. Being a goalkeeper, it's one of the hardest positions because there's only one of us.
Yes, I mean,
So,
as a goalkeeper, you could go through an entire season without touching a ball.
yep, that is very much true. I'm hoping for my sake I don't do that. I may hopefully get a couple games in, but we'll see. We'll see what Coach Yu will have us do. But we obviously, the boys and us, the women's team, we trust in Coach Yu's judgment in his choice of who plays.
Well, Coach Yu does have the achievement to build that trust on. I mean, he's unquestionably currently the winningest coach in the Philippines Football League.
Fami's cross was repelled by Saito. Placito. Ricky Sendra. To OJ on the right wing. A low cross. No good. Shraki off of Simone Rota. That's 2 former national team veterans. And Kaya will slow it down to their liking. But going back to Martini Ray and Sherwin Basindanan, they did join, or they were part of Kaya's title run last season already. Often on the bench, but they were making do with their quality minutes. So you could say or argue they have that championship experience in the PFL.
They do, but even last season, Claro, even when you had let's call a spade, much weaker opponents, the likes of Monte and Army and Air Force, they still didn't get that much playing time. As much playing time as you would expect from multi-awarded UAAP champions.
Because they are proven in the college level, right? the UAAP is to cap off, of course.
It just
our
goes to show
insights.
that college success, UAAP success or NCAA success doesn't always translate to being at the PFL level.
Yes, something we've noticed also. It's a tough transition from the university or college level all the way to the pros. No, here you're dealing with the big boys, national team players.
National team players, the physicality is a different level altogether. The pace is more controlled, not as out and out run and gun as college football tends to be. And maybe handball there, but a foul given instead to Fami Ibrahim.
And obviously, with the high stakes, both sides are trying to get behind their respective teams. And Stallion with some extra support in the stands, given that they're good friends at Manila Digger. Need their help in drawing or defeating.
Apart from
Kaya-FC.
Digger being their friends tonight, they did give away 50 tickets to deserving fans through their various social media channels.
As this was resumed, Cholo kept it in but gifted possession to Porteria and Stallion. Placito, Ricky Sendra. What's interesting, Dennis, Sendra, as we know, definitely in his older years, but he'd still play like that wing-back position, which is something where you need the pace like a Seagull Schaffner.
That's got to be a foul, and it is just millimeters outside the line. Won by OJ Porteria over there. Awkward angle. What do the numbers say, Kiki? Is that a cross? Is that going to be a cross or a shot on goal?
If it's Finn McDaniel taking this, it's definitely going to be a shot on goal. Finn has the ability to drive the ball with complete power into the top bins. I've seen it. I've experienced it myself going against him during 7v7s, and they're pretty hard to stop. Like, sometimes I'm like, dang, okay. So Finn has the confidence to most likely try to hit this.
Well, thank you for that very insightful analysis.
Well, they went to the same high school, right?
Oh, they did.
And the same neighborhood. Must be the water there. In that area of California.
The full McDaniel clan and me all went to the same high school. But Olivia left before I got there.
I see. I will pause that high school talk first. Finn McDaniel takes it with his right, but it's over the bar. Speaking of high school, Seagull Schaffner went to the high school where Tom Brady went. Well, obviously not schoolmates.
Okay, that's a different brand of football.
Yeah.
I wonder if Sea-Dog did play American football.
He played basketball. I asked him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like any self-respecting Filipino would.
As Cortez will get this underway. OJ getting that one. And Porteria won that free kick earlier. We've acknowledged over the games that OJ Porteria has played here in his return to the PFL. He never lost his speed, as you were saying, Dennis.
Sorry, Clara. That was beautiful skill from the very young Stephen Helm. Calmly chesting the ball to himself, fooling another former Stallion player, Janjan Melisa, in the process.
But now that you mentioned Janjan Melisa, will it be a Janjan special because he'd score in big games, as we know? Time will tell, of course, as we are about 19 minutes into this game. Kaya-Iloilo in yellow and black. Stallion Laguna in all white. You're catching this one on the PFL's YouTube page and on matchday.ph. So glad you could join us again. And this is Clara Manzano alongside Chiara Fontanilla and Dennis Lucindo.
So again, to recap, a draw doesn't do it for Kaya. They need to win. They need the 3 points to claim the championship. Again, crafty from Stephen Helm, stepping over the ball. Getting a yellow card shown to
Pocholo Bugas.
Pocholo Bugas on the left side.
And yes, Cholo's a little young, but you expect more maturity from him, of course, given his high level as a player.
You do, and Stephen Helm, very, very calm, very cheekily stepping over the ball, earning a bit of afters from Pocholo Bugas.
And that is why Roberto Llamas will take this one from his goalkeeper area. And Stephen Halm, 20 years of age, pero larong mama. Or plays like an old, not an old man, but a veteran man.
I like to say that I'm able to see a bit of their character just by looking in their eyes. And when you get to talk to Stephen, you look in his eyes, there is a wisdom there that belies his young years.
But this one is offline and no good for Stallion. And Mardiano will take this one. Now, I did commentate that game in Cebu, right? So I was taken care of by Cebu and Stallion, taking the ride to the airport. Also, Stephen Hum, very self-spoken, but had some interesting things to say about his football journey.
And you can catch that on the next Who the Heck Are We podcast, live on Matchday PH.
And the vlog did come out, yes, with him being my seatmate on the bus there. And it's with Llamas. They'll have to be wary with Joven Bidik right there. The usual mind games. I think that's something you would do. All keepers do it, right, Kiara?
Sure. I mean, I would say like I don't do it as much. I would personally say I think I kind of stick to the mind games when we're winning, and if it's like the end of the game.
No, not in a scenario like this where it's still all to play for, right?
Oh yeah, there's a lot of time. We're only about 22 minutes in.
You know, I gotta watch Kiki's next game, because I'm gonna hold her to everything she says on these broadcasts.
Well, we do play on April 27th at MOA Skyfield at 7 p.m. against UP. Hopefully I get the call up for that for the start.
Kaya women, of course, have very deep goalkeeping bench with Ina Palacios, the other goalkeeper, right?
Mm-hmm. We have Ina Palacios, Jacopito, one of the younger goalkeepers coming out of La Salle University. So we're pretty three deep. And unfortunately, we did lose one to injury, Kim. And I know she's been there every training session, putting everything into her recovery process, and we're really excited to have her back.
Okay, Simone Rota defends that cross very well, getting the ball out to Shu Tokomaki. Now finds himself in the left hemisphere, the left side of the pitch.
Kaishu will play it. That's the 1-2 punch here for Kaya FC.
I swear there's a psychic link between Kaishu and Shu Tokomaki. They know where to find each other without even looking.
It's quite impressive because there's times where Kaishu won't even have to look up and he just hits it. And it's like almost if it's out on a string, like a fisherman's line.
As Fami shoots, he's denied. Follow up by Ricky Sendra, but definitely over the bar.
What a good first save by Freddy Cortez. Being able to hit it a bit hard, maybe that made it a bit more difficult.
We could hear, of course, the Digger players and supporters getting behind Stallion, as we mentioned again.
It sounded like it came from the owner of the Digger men's team, probably yelling at the Stallion boys why they didn't finish that opportunity.
Well, let's get it straight to the point. That's Boss Shuosha.
Beautiful tackle by Yamazaki.
See Dog trying to get it to Fami. About Diano. You'd see that from time to time, the grab of the ball. And then they get the whistle going their way. Pero bati na sila Diano at Fami Ibrahim.
Well, Fami Ibrahim, very aggressive, but off the pitch, Fami is one of those people, one of those beautiful human beings that takes pride in finding inner peace. So, after the challenge is done, a handshake is offered. As that pass from Simone Rota finds nobody.
It looks like he was trying to find Diana on the right
Yes.
side, but I think it was just a miscommunication. I think Diana probably thought Pocholo was right next to him or right above him.
You don't see mistakes like that from Kaya very often, right?
Very rare.
Finn McDaniel couldn't get it. Akito Saito got to clean up. But here comes Shiraki. He saw OJ was calling for it. That's what Shiraki does. Those two teammates once upon a time had said us before. And this is definitely out.
It came off the boot of Odi Menzi, so that's going to be a corner for Stallion. And here Stephen Ham comes up. Usually in corners, the tall boys go up, the short boys go to the back of the room. So we have Matt Nieras manning the half line.
He might get mad at you. You called him short. But we know.
Not a stall.
First.
Less tall.
In swinger. Shuto gets it.
There's a break here if Kaya finds it. Now there. Pocholo Bugas, this is the space that he wants. One-on-one versus Matt Nieras. Pocholo pushing forward. Matt getting shoulder across. Textbook defense. Not yet done. Right in front of the referee. Matt got half the job done. And it's
Oh my God.
it's like, it's a bizarro day to hear Manila Digger, their players, their fans, full voice behind Stallion Laguna.
I told you they're good friends already. But
Yeah, they're best friends.
kaibigan naman tayo lahat outside of the game, if you get me. I mean, outside of the field, everyone's friends, right?
Sure.
But because of that foul, will it be a Jan Jan special? But more of a chance to create for a teammate, I'd like to think.
I don't know, man. I have seen John hit these complete screamers. One from memory is the one against One to Geek at Resolve. That was a complete. And from where it was, it seemed like it might have been out of range. So maybe here, and he's really good at these curlers. Maybe he can might catch Roberto Yama's off, but he's pretty good.
Also against Cebu, the come from behind of Kaya.
He's looking at the ball. He's looking at the keeper. If
I think-
Roberto takes a step,
Ooh.
Taken with the left. It sails over.
because that's what Jan Jan did against Quincy in One Taguig. It was from just
Like-
past the half.
Yeah.
And he was looking at the goal, and he saw Quincy step up towards the 6-yard box, and he took that moment at the half step of Quincy, top left.
Definitely caught Quincy kind of off, and I was able to actually catch Quincy in BGC, talking to him about it, and he took responsibility for that. He was like, "Yeah, I should have been that high. That was completely mine." But things happen. We'll get them the next time, and that's kind of a player that you want to be around, who forgets about the mistakes and focuses on what they can do next.
And great character, great accountability.
Well, Quincy did take accountability for it, but Jan Jan still had to execute as Schrock executes this pass to Ricky.
Finn McDaniel's headers seemed to lack power. That's why it was easy collected by Freddy Cortez.
So his head not having the same power as his right foot.
This one is taken. And Alonzo Del Mundo did get his head to it. And he was able to track down and secure it. At the back though, Joven Keenan pressing.
So Alfonso Del Mundo came in, I think, late in the previous season. And it's nice to see that he's improved his fitness in the months that he's been in the Philippines.
Fami. Got this one to Nieras. Ricky Sendra. Fami Ibrahim. Now on the right. OJ. Here's the cross. Sea Dog gets to meet this one. Numbers in the box. Not enough here for Stallion to really test the keeper in that moment. Placito to Porteria. Something brewing here for Laguna. And as we say that, Simone Rota gets it. They clear it to escape the danger area.
Kiki, can you understand what the Japanese players behind us are saying?
No, not at all.
Okay.
But I can hear them.
I'll try to look for a translator.
Very excited.
With this one, will continue to go the way of Stallion in all white. Stallion Laguna in yellow and black. And Shraki having a word with Raymart de los Santos. The play will resume as it's with Placito.
Don't know who that was for, as there were no Stallion players in the box. So possession goes back to Kaya, and to be honest, they've been pressed by Stallion and kept in their own half. This is going to be dangerous. Shraki trying to find OJ, his old pal OJ from the national team. Didn't go through now. Shuto Komaki on the left side tries to cross it, but Chris Schaffner, hard-working as ever.
That was Sea-Dog playing his game, and that's what you're seeing right now. Options in the center and in the left. That was a difficult touch for Ibrahim to secure.
The evergreen Simon Hirota, right place, right time. Now, ball.
What a switch there.
Switch to Shuto. Shuto trying to find Pedic.
And it's with Placito now. Diano wasn't happy because he almost got Sea-Dog there. Shraki taking on Angeles. The fake. Lobbing it. OJ! But the flag is up as Cortez gets the stop and playing it quickly.
Quick restart from Freddy Cortez. Looking to break on the left.
They're trying to go into that attacking transition from the defensive transition. Something that Coach Yu really instills in us as players of Kaya. So Friday just trying to get that started. Hopefully it'll capitalize.
So 32 minutes in. Claro, would you say the balance of the attack has been in favor of Stallion Laguna?
I would say so as of late, but you're just lacking that oomph in the end if you just really want to take the driver's seat outright. But this is a tried and tested formula of Kaya, as we know. But the question is, if this will keep up, for how long could they just handle this? And let's remember, they need the win. They can't settle for a draw.
Kaya, of course, is one of the most composed, poised teams I've ever seen in the Philippines Football League. It is, I would like to say, championship-winning poise that has delivered results the past 2 seasons. As Janjan Melissa steals the ball off the feet of Stephen Ham, but Abe Placito runs over Janjan Melissa like a Mack truck over a hump.
Let's remember, he's their Mr. Incredible. But they'll need that on offense, and they want to capitalize with this momentum that they have. As Shraki isn't happy, he wanted that one from Fami. Sea-Dog gets them another chance. Placito. Ricky Sendra was calling for it. He went to OJ, to Finn McDaniel, flag down. Akito Saito gets it though. Ricky will cross. It's Rota there, no doubt. Sea-Dog will secure. It will be Fami now from the left who'll try to take a crack at things. Cleared off. Melissa using this.
Oh! That is a dangerous foul. Yellow card. Yellow card shown. So that's yellow card given. And that's going to be what it is. You cannot change the referee's mind. Yes, this is what we call a potential dogso.
Denial of an obvious goal-scoring opportunity.
Yes, Stephen was the last man. Nobody behind him. Took the legs out from Janjan Melissa.
But let's remember, Dennis, the way these players are reacting. But let's take a look at this. Kiara?
Ooh, the dangerous play as John was able to cut the ball around him.
He was going to
Very
go past.
Controversial.
He was going to go
He was
past.
already going to go past. Almost. It looked like he was also the last defender.
He was coming from behind. Janjan had gotten around, I think, the left back, Alfonso, already. Alfonso was behind him. He was coming to Stephen. Stephen did take him out with a foul. But the referee's first reaction is the yellow card. They do not have the benefit of replay like we have here.
I just wanted to mention also with the way Kaya's players were in the moment, they could get booked for that also, so they'll have to be careful.
Well, I did see a few Kaya players touch the referee, and that's never something you want to see.
And to our fourth official also, but we have
Into our fourth
confirmation.
official.
We have confirmation on the yellow from Stephen Ham, but he's having a chat with his with the assistant coach and mentor, Coach Sam Bonney.
But here on the left side, we also see Finn McDaniel getting treatment, and we wonder what for. Yeah, we didn't see any contact to Finn because in that sequence, our focus was fully on the breaking Jan Melisa.
But he looks shaken up right here. That happened off the ball during the counter already, I presume.
Yes,
right
off the
before.
ball, he looks like in a bit of discomfort, Finn McDaniel. So we hope he's okay.
And he's back on his feet.
It looks like Jovan Bedic also got a yellow card, probably for trying to protect Jan Melisa, arguing that maybe that shouldn't have been a yellow card because it was a very dangerous play. Jan being, like I said, Jan being able to go round helm, and he was already on the attack, and only to get knocked down straight into the shins.
That's what we raised earlier out of concern, right? In the perspective of Kaya. But Jan is okay.
But again, our referees are under pressure to make the best decision possible with the information they have at that moment. And from what the referee saw, from his perspective, it was a yellow card.
Charles Pickering is on standby on the bench of Stallion, just in case, it seems. When we just tracking things back a bit, let's recall Finn McDaniel was getting some cold spray already earlier in the game. So
Magic
maybe there's
spray.
something
Magic spray.
with his legs,
That's
right?
what we like to say.
Yes. Now play resumes. Cholo. Well, it's a call here that will go the way of the defending champs.
And we wonder what for. But
Handball.
handball, okay. So Cholo, we've seen very creative, very quick, very strong player. But he also has a tendency to make these loose passes and lose the ball more than what I think Coach Yu Hoshide is comfortable with. Coach Yu values safe, simple possession among his players. So maybe that's one reason why the bias towards the older, more experienced players.
But this is a free kick from Jan Melisa range, I like to call it too. Let's see how this one will go. Because as we've said, we're aware that he could come up big. It's just one of those games. The defensive header from Matt. Stephen Haum directing it to his keeper. But almost gifted it to, or almost gifted a goal.
Akito Saito trying to connect that final header to the bottom right corner. Ultimately covered.
Take us through this one, Kiara.
It looks like Helm tried to head it back to Roberto Llamas, but didn't realize Akito Saito was right there to jump on that mistake.
And Matt Nieras was there to come up with a goal line clearance. And we've seen plenty of those in his tenure as a football player.
When somebody's manning the post, Kiara, what are you holding them responsible for?
To cover that post, to cover, that side, because obviously the goal is 24 feet wide. We're only one person, so having someone cover at least one of the posts, maybe the one that is on the side of where the danger is, it allows the keepers, allows us to cover the back. So it's almost like a two-man job.
So it kind of shrinks the width of the goal to maybe
Yes,
16
correct.
feet.
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
Still obviously still wide, a wide goal, but anything to shrink it down.
Yes, it's a call again here to go the way of Stallion. You just felt for a moment their momentum disappeared because of that foul earlier from Stephen Ham to deny the attacking chance of Stallion. Laguna played with fire earlier, as we saw that Nieras had to come up with a goal line clearance after a scoring opportunity was gifted. But it's back the attacking way of Laguna as it's off of the head of Placito, but just wide.
Going back to that foul by Stephen Ham. On the other hand, it is what you look for in the last defender. You want him to stop the threat, and that's what Stephen Ham did without causing catastrophic injury to Jan Melisa.
You gotta do what you gotta do sometimes. Well, as Olivia did say, take the L, just give up the foul.
Wise words.
She did give that in the goalkeeper's perspective. As Jovin, Sea Dog said no. Fami will collect. Diano getting involved. There's chaos right here. And then a foul again against the defending champions.
So it seems, Kiki, you've learned a lot from Olivia McDaniel, being her backup keeper of the women's national team.
Yeah. I mean, we definitely have, obviously I've known her since I was like in high school. I went to a university camp with her where she was going to university. Actually, the same university as Freddie Cortez went to.
Also.
So,
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I was only there for like 2 years, then I left. So, you know, yeah, like she's definitely, I wouldn't necessarily, like she has her place as our number one, but you know, there's other like talents that are coming in, like Nina Mayoyo. Obviously, we have like ones that don't have their passports quite yet coming in. Obviously, we have Kaya Hota that's also going for England right now. So, you know, there's a bunch of younger talents coming in, and you know, no one's even though yes, she is our number one, no one's spot is ever safe.
And we did hear that in the last training camp also. Sophia Harrison Wunsch talking about the same. As Shiraki gets fouled, he's okay because he is animated while down on the ground.
Yep, and he has risen again.
Cara Fontanilla quoting Dennis Lucindo.
Well done, Chiara Fontanilla. Dangerous. Well read by Saito.
Sea Dog got stopped by Diano there, or his ball to the middle got stopped. High fives there. Confidence still with Stallion.
Very mature defending from the Kaya backline. This is not a young backline by any stretch of the imagination, but always their positioning has been excellent.
But here's a corner kick now. You'd also see Casambre play with that backline as they can just rotate their personnel. And it will be a goal kick once more to Iloilo. Seems there were some intense fans in the grandstand. And given again that the title hangs in the balance, it's still weird to say we're not sure who's going to take home that trophy and those medals.
Well, we're almost at the last half of the season, and we still don't know, because the Kaya attacks keep coming and coming now. Back and forth action here. And that ball looks to have crossed the line, and it is none other than Jan Melisa, is it?
Seems like it here. We'll try to double check, but it seems that was a goal even before it hit the back of the net. But
what a ball!
They just made sure.
Just what a ball by Pachola Bugas, able to recognize where Jan Melisa was without even having to look. It's just that all of their relationships that they have within the field, they trust each other to be where they need to be.
This Kaya team knows their running channels. Jan Melisa, not the easiest guy to spot.
Right there, it crossed.
It did cross before Stephen Ham got a foot to it. It was about 1.5 feet over the line. So, as it stands, Kaya FC Iloilo up 1-0. And if we're doing live standings, up 1 point over Manila Digger.
And you feel it now, that Stallion side with Manila Digger faithful and players deflated. But because that passed the goal line, you can credit the assist to Bugas.
Yes.
Unfortunate for Roberto Llamas, he tried to get that first save, and unfortunately went just between his legs and hit his back heel.
But that's in the perspective of the keeper, because you had it already.
Yeah, and that's like on goals like that, it's so frustrating because you think you'd made that great save and then it just doesn't go your way.
Well, breaks of the game, but lots of football to be played tonight. This beautiful, breezy, cool Sunday night in the Binyan Football Stadium. Kaya FC Iloilo up 1-0 on a Janjan Meliza goal from a Pocholo Bugas cross.
And with Kaya, been there, done that. They just deliver right when they found themselves defending in the latter stages of this first 45.
This Kaya team is very impressive for their ability to absorb pressure. The moment never faces them. Even if they're playing in the Philippines Football League, in the AFF Shopee Cup, in the AFC Champions League too, there is a poise about this Kaya FC Iloilo team. Maybe a poise that they imbibe from Coach Yu Hoshide.
And there's a look at that last foul from Shiraki. Kaishu Yamazaki, as we know, unfazed. And with that of Coach Yu, he only smiles when they win the championship. When they win a game midway through the season or come from behind, business as usual.
So stick around after the final whistle because we will be awarding not just the champion, we'll be giving away tokens to the Golden Boot winner, the Golden Gloves winner, the MVP, a nomination to the AFC Champions League 2 qualifier, to the second placer of the league, and of course the championship trophy and a ticket to the AFC Champions League 2 group stage for the first placer of our league.
It's always a treat to watch AFC level football right here, regardless of PFL club playing. It's high level football. It is going to go the way of the home side, who are looking to play catch up. And this is a non-bearing game for Stallion Laguna again. They win or bag a draw, they are still in number 5.
You know, we have a postseason coming up, and I would love to see another Digger and Kaya matchup. They play at such a high level, both these teams. They're able to play as the front runner in the game, but they're also very potent in the counter attack.
And both teams of quality. And Kaya again, they've only lost twice this season. Once to Davao, they got their local streak snapped. 42 consecutive games without a loss. So that's either a win or a draw. And then they lost to Digger after, as the flag is raised here on the closer side. We are almost done and dusted with our 3 minutes of additional time.
You know, every time you say done and dusted, Clara, I remember these TikToks about Oriental food recipes. You see that, Kara?
Yeah, because it's on
fried rice, done and dusted.
It's on my TikTok.
I know.
Well, I have my Livity here, not yet done and dusted. Just right beside me. Had a bit of a bite, as it will go the way of Kaya. Both teams will try to sneak in a goal right before the break. And Stephen Ham giving up the corner right here. Unideal though.
Well, he was alert to Mardiano feeding that ball into Pocholo Bugas. There is no offside, of course, on throw-ins. But Janjan Meliza going to take this corner with his left foot. So that's going to be an in-swinger. Look for Saito, Rota, and Yamazaki to be the threats here.
It looks like Yamazaki got pulled back into the center back, so Akito Saito could be up there.
Saito, of course, towers above and also has that physique. But just like that, we are done here with our first half in this matchup. Jan Meliza, the man of the moment so far, as teams will head over to the dugout. It is Kaya FC Iloilo 1 and Stallion Laguna 0.
The headline score of this match is Kaya FC Iloilo 1 and Stallion Laguna FC 0.
back here at the Binyan Football Stadium, and it is halftime between Kaya-Iloilo and Stallion Laguna. And for those who just tuned in, of course, as there's this shot from Finn McDaniel, he hasn't been able to play his game. And Kaya need the win here to seal the league title. A loss or a draw will mean that Manila Digger will take it. And Digger, who did win their game earlier versus Loyola FC, are watching, of course. They're keen observers. As we have the highlights off of Finn McDaniel again, but he hasn't been able to just find his shooting boots, as is the case for the entire team as they trail, and they did dictate possession. But quite a half right here, Kiara. Entertaining, that's for sure.
Definitely entertaining. Obviously, with Kaya going into the half, leading 1-0, you know, the question is, are they going to try to hold that 1-0 lead or go for more?
As we know, a 1-0 lead is not safe, but that was when Jan Melisa scored. And it was deemed as a goal already, right when he crossed the line, right there. Stephen Halm tried to do what he could. But still a goal, right?
Goal is still a goal. Doesn't matter how it gets over the line. Kind of the same thing with goalkeepers. You don't, as long as it doesn't go over the line and you say you hit it with your face, still a save.
And you'll approve that effort, of course, from any of your defenders or players in the back line. But let's see how things will develop, particularly in the first 15 minutes of the second 45. But would you have an assessment here on how this game has been going for the two teams?
I would say that Kaya has had more of the control when it comes to the tempo of the game. You know, they're always trying, like Coach Yu always instills in not only the women's but the men's, of keeping possession as much as we can. You know, his version of telling us is ground ball, so grounded, like try to keep it on the floor as much as we can to keep that possession. So I feel like they are definitely the superior when it comes to the attacking. Stallion has had their moments. I think there's times where they could shoot, but they're trying to play it, you know, a bit more, which is understandable. But when it comes to a team like Kaya, that's one of the top dogs, they need to take any chance they get, because who knows, one of those chances might go into the net.
It's about using those opportunities again. But when we mention Stallion, it's because they were dictating the game. And simple as this, I'd like to think they also just missed that oomph in the end, or that potency of sorts, right? Well, you get where I'm coming from. As Finn McDaniel will kick off the second half. We mentioned the championship implications, but for Stallion, they want to end their season strong. But regardless, even if they win, draw, or lose this game, they are secure already at 5th spot. And a big thank you for joining us right here on matchday.ph and on the YouTube page of the Philippines Football League. So glad you could join us again alongside Cara Fontanilli and Dennis Lucindo. This is Claro Manzano. As we see this one to Shuto Komaki, flag down with a touch. Let him down just a bit. And Shuto, his attempt is no good.
But that was 1-on-5. Shuto Komaki, the lone samurai for Kaya FC Iloilo, against 5 defenders from Stallion.
But it'll be a chance for the home side to build up from the back and get momentum going their way. But there is a player down for Kaya in Jan Melisa. He's back on his feet and is ready to go. We'll just await things from our referee and from Roberto Llamas, the goalkeeper of Laguna in orange. We're off right here. It's with Nieras. And that assist earlier of Cholo Bogas is his 3rd of the season. But this is a foul that will go the way of the defending champs. Played quickly by Odi Menzi. Jovin versus Stephen Halm. Laying it off to a friendly. But Abe Placito concedes a corner kick. There's plenty of work when you have to work out a corner kick as the attacking team, or particularly the defending team. As I say that, they played it short. Placito versus Bidik. Not often the Joven hits the deck. And it will be another corner just like that. But could you take us through this process as a defending team? Because the attacking team pretty much have their plays rehearsed.
Yeah, so as a the defensive side, it really depends on the goalkeeper where they want to put their defender. So in this case, it looks like Roberto Llamas just wants the front post covered and everyone else marking. He has that confidence to come out for the ball, to punch it out, to catch it, and is also very trustworthy with all of his other teammates.
As it came off of Ricky Sendra, Ibrahim will clear it. It seems like there's no wind down on the pitch. We're saying this because the wind will often go from right to left in the perspective of the broadcast camera. Here comes Bugas outside already.
It kind of sounds like the Manila Digger team's leading that Stallion cheer.
I had to double check, but good you heard it.
I know their voices, so I'm going to go question the one who started the cheer.
Well, Digger again needs Stallion to at least, or needs Stallion to draw or win this game so that they could be crowned champions. That's a tough spot, as we've mentioned in the earlier parts of this broadcast. You'll need to rely on the result of a game that you cannot control. And all part of it, of course, when you talk about sports. That's why it's about winning those games early in the season, getting your points tally up there so that you're the one dictating the pace. And in this scenario, it is Kaya FC. As Porteria headed it to Nieras. Placito. OJ. Matt taking on Shuto.
You did mention earlier, Claro, that Shuto Komaki is currently the assist leader of the league.
Yes.
Okay.
He has 7. But with that attack, that was played to no avail. It's been Halm now. Sea Dog getting it. And it appears, and it is confirmed that he was clipped from behind.
By Marwin Angeles.
Shraki, as expected, has been vocal. Try to play those mind games to their favor. Sea Dog. Shraki. No one there to meet it though. It's with Freddy Cortez and Finn McDaniel. Will chase him down so that he is forced to pick this one up. Quite a difficult spot here. Or it's a double-edged sword if you are Kaya. With what you mentioned, do you defend or do you go for the insurance goal? A 1-goal lead is not safe. Go for the goal. You might be vulnerable at the back. Pick your poison, I'd like to think.
Yeah, definitely, like you said, it's a double-edged sword on whether or not if they should go for more.
Shraki. Nieras. Porteria. Referee called advantage. Rota. It was tough from Yamazaki there, but he got it to a teammate. Halm. Getting it to Placito. Well, you see Laguna with the ball, but uncomfortable. As OJ Porteria got it to Ricky Sendra. Going through the middle, McDaniel, but the flag is up for him. Frustration for the offense of Stallion Laguna.
It's like synchronized swimming, the way that Kaya backline stepped up in sync, catching Finn McDaniel fully 2 yards offside. You saw Saito, Rota, the right back, and Odi Menzi on the left step up on cue.
And if one person puts their foot wrong, disgrasya.
Yeah, it had to be absolutely sabay-sabay. And Stefan Schrock earning a yellow card, looks like for dissent or insisting on his opinion too strongly.
Now it's A Placito joining the chat.
I don't know what the argument is there because Finn McDaniel was at least 2 yards offside.
And that's why play is resumed by the goalkeeper. Audie the captain. And Joven Budik was the captain also for Kaya in the earlier seasons. There was the changing of the guard already a long time ago. I'm meaning months. There's another ball on the pitch actually off camera. As Del Mundo got this to Fami. Placito. Still with Ibrahim. Shraki. Trying to get it. That's a pass that the attacking line of Stallion did not get to meet. And only 8 minutes, but it seems that a lot has gone on in this game already, Kara.
Definitely, it's an action-packed game. Obviously, like with both sides just really gunning for goal. And like I said, I feel like it has calmed down a bit maybe in comparison to the first half. That's not how, I'm so sorry. I cannot see.
I see Ibrahim.
Ibrahim going to the left side, trying to find the right side. Smart play by Freddy Cortez as Finn goes to approach him.
So in the perspective of the keeper, are you doing that to waste time already or just to get into the head and force your...
I think it's a little bit of both, probably more so getting in the head of the strikers. Obviously, when you're up whatever amount of goals, you know, and you take your time. I've had it happen to me where I'll literally just wait until they're right in front of me and then do what Freddie did, fall on it. And they'll tell me, oh, come on, just get up. And I look at them straight in the face like, no.
No words?
No words. Like, just all eyes.
I expected you'd be saying
no.
something.
I don't, unless I'm prompted to, I won't talk.
Okay. I was expecting something given that you've been excelling here, joining us as a commentator. But Trash Talk Game is another story that is off the record normally.
Exactly.
But it exists. And we will have this drop ball. Audie Menzi is at the half line and will return to the game in a bit. There you go again. It's the mind games.
And it also builds frustration in the strikers as well, as you see that Finn just stepping right in front of Freddy Cortez to throw him off on one of his kicks.
And it takes energy to chase after a keeper like that. And they know what they're doing, these keepers, putting the ball down, keeping the ball down, inviting a striker to come and chase and force the 6-second count to start.
I looked away from my monitor. I believe Finn had something to say to Freddy, as now it's a foul against Shraki. Yamazaki hitting the deck. That is his right foot, which he is favoring.
Don't forget, Schrock is on a yellow card already for dissent. So, he caught Yamazaki on the shin there with his boot.
There's the impact or the contact. Yamazaki okay. You had Akito Saito giving some words to Stefan Schrock, and Akito Saito normally the quiet type of guy, a little chill, lets his playing do the talking.
Sure, you can say that. No, definitely Akito Saito is definitely one of the calmer presence on the field, but he's also very protective over all of his teammates.
And he is also one of the captains of this team. Sorota drives this. Gave to Sendra. OJ getting past, getting clipped. Finn McDaniel continuing to give a mouthful to Audie. Just smiles there from Audie Menz. Yes, he's booked. He'll have to be careful too.
Yes, Audie Menzi on a yellow. Now, But a game of this magnitude deserves a good number of yellows.
Take us through this one, Kara. Clipped.
I feel like with Audie stepping out like that, it wasn't intentional. I think he saw that Audie was stepping out, and then
Well, OJ doing what he has to do as an attacking player and making sure that their thighs or their knees make contact and he goes down, he gets the foul. And Audie knew what he was doing too. So,
And with that, it's back again. Freddy Cortez.
nothing malicious there, nothing. Oh, but that challenge by OJ on the clearance of Freddy Cortez, that could have earned him a yellow too.
Gave me flashbacks, of course, with Dato, Kaya's player who was still out due to injury.
I remember watching that at 3 a.m. in the States, and I had to try really hard not to scream because it was at 3 a.m. So just seeing that play on Patrick Dato,
Well, as kids say, it's dirty AF, right?
yes, sir.
It was it was dirty to the worst degree. I was calling that game with Coach Ernie Nieras and Sedelf Tupas, and that tackle had no place in football.
And we are expecting a triple sub here for Coach Herney and Coach Clint. Juan Galeana Trujillo, MJ Libre. And we've also got Dean Mountney. They are just in the sidelines. Here's that connection as expected. Nieras. What is the call? Will go the way of Llamas. Here's the sub that we are expecting. Now let's try to confirm. Who are the players who will step off from the pitch? You see Porteria calling it a day already. Not even an hour of action. Ricky Sendra too. But you love the spirits of Ricky Sendra, driving them on. So Sendra out along with Porteria. Fami Ibrahim too. And we do see that there's Dean Mountney. I don't think we have seen much of Mountney actually in this season. Now, will these guys be able to just impact this game when you refer to Stallion, who are out to play spoiler here in the championship bid of Kaya? Here comes MJ Libre. Showing us the footwork. Throw and taken quickly. Off the head of Shiraki. Didn't get good contact there. Kai Shu. Shuto. Stephen Halm. Simona Rota sends it back again. It's a foot race. Jan Meliza had some space initially. The corner kick is the call here. Some subs made for Stallion. None yet right here for Kaya-Iloilo. And we are 15 minutes into the second half already.
It looks like some of Kaya's subs are warming up, so we might see some changes soon.
But no surprises, you'd like to think, that Stallion had to pull the trigger already. Well, that's given that they trail 1-0. Here's the defensive header. Rota and Yamazaki on the same page. Llamas with it, as there is Bedik down, I believe. Shiraki, he's got Saito on him. He hit the brakes. They're bringing it now. Sea-Dog got it wide. And cleared off. It will still stay with Laguna though. But as expected, play stop. Not Bedik, but it is Mardiano. And this one over the other side of the pitch. Well, we can get straight to the point. We spoke about it earlier also. I'd also mention it in games where I'd call things, or where I'd commentate solo. Whoever's leading will look to waste time.
Oh, for sure.
We say that for whoever
Oh, yeah.
leads the game.
Yeah, for sure. I think obviously, but it did look like it seems like maybe he's cramping a little bit. Obviously, it's a hard-fought game. They need to do what they need to do.
A hard-fought game, and then it was a hot day earlier. I'm stepping out here in the Philippine summer. It's already a workout, I like to think, a natural sauna. But Marco Casambre is going to enter. And that is a massive advantage for Kaya FC, because they do have their personnel for the back line, and they would rotate them over the course of the season, but they do not seem to lose chemistry. It's like plug and play. Hey, that's not fair.
Kind of like how I mentioned in the Digger game, how I said they're 2-3 deep. It's the same thing for Kaya. Really, if you plug in someone else, there really is no difference.
With Digger being very deep, but we barely noticed any subs actually for their back line. Just earlier because they were up already with a huge scoreline. Sea Dog. It's a bit congested on the left. Trying to get it to one. It will go the way though of Iloilo. It seems the game lost its pace of sorts. But the score is 1-0 and not 2. We're just awaiting things as Cortez, as expected, is taking his time. Keepers, you guys play with fire when you're in the lead and you're just trying to get things going your way, right?
Oh, for sure. You know, like I said, when it comes to like time wasting, we're literally inviting the strikers to come, and like Dean said, as Dennis said, we just like waste time. You know, it makes them convert a lot of energy into running after us. So you know, it's mind games for sure.
And with goal kicks, we'd see warnings from referees too. Yellow cards also in some cases late in the game. Here's the distribution from Liamas. The intention was there. Execution off. And that is why Ori Menzi will take the throw in. Angeles. And still with Kaya. Now, I'd like to think, or is there any reason why the pace of the game has just died down a bit? Or is it Kaya controlling it now?
I feel like Kaya's controlling it a little better. As the ball gets to Yamazaki finds Cassandra on the left side, finding Shuto Komaki on the left, Shuto splitting to find John Maliza. Kaishi trying to find Shuto, and it had been a flick out by the Stallion defense, earning Kaya a corner.
For the last 5 to 7 minutes or so, the action has been a lot less frantic. And this favors Kaya, clearly. Kaya with the older legs, they don't want to be running around so much and as we march towards 90 minutes.
25 minutes remaining and change. Plenty of time. It's an eternity. It will be Bugas to send this.
Somebody is screaming 45 minutes of added time. So that must be a Stallion fan. Unfortunately, we only have 90 to play for this game plus added time.
What is the call right here? Outside already, confirmed. Cholo, of course, or would have been totally different if Cholo kept that in, but that was tough. Placito. Sato. Shraki. Canicosa Libre. There's the combinations now. Here comes MJ. John Meliza right behind. Juan coming in as a sub. Rota clears it off. That sense of urgency here. But at this rate, Kaya-Iloilo will clinch the PFL title. A draw or a loss again will mean that Manila Digger will take the title. And Kaya gunning for a three-peat. Back here to Haum. Abe. Joven Bidik. But it is lost.
Shuto Komaki all over the place. That challenge there on the right side against number 36, finally winning him the ball. You gotta give it to Shuto. He's leaving it all out in this last game of the double round robin.
Just about seeing it through. And last 30 minutes or so in the regular season. 23 minutes rather.
So Stallion so far only with Marco Casambre as the change they've made to their starting 11.
Just for Kaya, yes.
For Stallion, we've had quite a few. MJ Libre here on the ball has come in, as has Juan Galeana Trujillo. And the new player to the season, I've actually not seen him before.
Dean Mountney, donning the number 36 jersey. But
what do we know about him, Claro? Not much, it seems.
we'll try to take a look. But these subs haven't made an impact yet. When we say impact, just getting that equalizer as you're playing catch-up. Well, here's the roll of the dice from Coach Yu.
If you're coming in for Stallion, the only impact you can make is another goal to get a draw. And here we have Martini Ray, Barfo, and Gavin Wentz coming in for what surely must be tired legs on those Kaya FC starting 11. And tired legs will be slow in walking out. Agonizingly slow if you're a Stallion Laguna fan.
Joven Bidik taking his time to step off the pitch. And Gavin Wentz will be inserted to give midfield stability. What do you think about these subs here, Kiara?
I think they're definitely trying to go for like the younger with Gavin and Martini Ray. Obviously having more energy, fresh energy to really, maybe capitalize more. To secure their win and secure their spot as champions.
Secure at least, hold the fort, win 1-0. Or who knows, get an insurance goal. So it's Bidik and Angeles stepping off along with Bugas.
What a game for Pocholo Bugas, having that assist to help Dundon Maliza get his goal. As a young player, Cholo has definitely been able to step up to the plate and really cement his spot as a Kaya player.
As here is the counter. Just like that, they slow it down. Here's with Llamas. Let's take a look at our update with the standings. KFC, should they get the win, will seal the title with 44 points. Manila Digger right below with 43. Shraki. The ball seemed to be overplayed. Placito and Del Mundo to chase. Now on the left. They're being patient. Man on here behind Shraki. A bit of the pull. That's from Martini. Shraki trying to thread the needle. Shuto getting height on this ball, but it's in the midfield. Nieras versus Melisa. We've seen that before in the UAP, as we've said. And then it's knocked back to Llamas. Stallion with possession, but it seems that Kaya are the ones controlling the game.
And it's offside again for Finn McDaniel off that long ball. So these offside calls not going to be helping Stallion Laguna if they want to go for the points. And too many balls, 3 balls on the pitch now. No, Stallion's not going to like that.
And that was quite a high offside in the back line of Kaya. Going up again in unison. That is why Rota will carry on from the midfield. Time is ticking, Kiara. Any changes to the approach here of the two teams?
I think Stallion should have a bit more of a level head. I think they're letting their emotions get the best of them. And obviously with the constant offside, I think that if they calm their head a bit and keep the ball on the floor instead of trying to go long every time, I think they could maybe do some damage. Kaya, on the other hand, I think they're playing pretty good. I'm not trying to be biased or anything. You know, they're bodying where they need a body, and they passing on the ground, and they're kind of doing a mixture of the two, keeping everything calm.
And a yellow is shown to Coach Clint McDaniel. The Stallion ex-Digger fans showing or voicing their disapproval. Good friends again, as we've said.
Besties.
Manila Digger needing a result thanks to Stallion Laguna. A draw again will mean that Kaya-Iloilo will finish in second, and it will be Manila Digger who will bag the title. But when you look at this matchup between our two clubs playing, in Kaya and Stallion, two very historical teams in the course of Philippine football. But it's been Kaya seeing the good days in this rivalry. The matchups going their way. It's been some time actually that Stallion defeated. It's been some time when Stallion last defeated Kaya-Iloilo. And desperate for a goal, crowding the keeper, right?
Definitely crowding the keeper, but Freddie kind of just towers over all of them. But Kaya has been really solid in defense as this corner is whipped in. Good clearance by Barfels. John Maliza tries to find it in the midfield, trying to control it to find Shuta Komaki, but it has been called offsides.
And Coach Yu calmly exiting his technical area to have a chat with our fourth official, Timothy De Castro.
Calmly taking 3 steps outside of his technical area to calmly protest in the way only Coach Yu Hoshida can.
Still very well-mannered, Coach. Of course,
Always.
not showing emotion.
That is what we love about Coach Yu.
It can be really unnerving sometimes, though, because you see how calm he is, because you never know if he's happy or mad.
Kevin Muenz taking on Sea-Dog. Yamazaki to Shuto. Nieras couldn't stop that. The ball split the defense. Meliza's shot, though, off target and wide. And quite a spell. Kaya knocking on the door for a number 2 or another goal in this evening. Martini taking on Libre. It's with Placito. They need to see the incredible from him now. The shirt pull from Yamazaki. Hence, there's the foul. Here's another change for Stallion, who are playing catch-up. And we do see that Gabriel Claudio will enter for Alonzo Del Mundo. That's not a like-for-like change, because Del Mundo, more of that right center back of sorts. But they're putting Claudio up front now, hoping to add heft, like a target man of sorts. Let's remember, he's a defender. And I noticed how he was given a welcome to the pitch. Claudio and Rota were just swinging arms at each other. Throw-in taken long from Nieras. As you said, no offside off throw-ins. Sent to the middle. Rota and Martini Ray doing enough. It's with MJ Libre. And a call here going the way of MJ. Stallion fans, Digger fans, getting into it. They're sensing something. Set piece here. The usual man marking, I'd like to think. The perspective, of course, of the keeper or defense. Laguna will execute a play.
I feel like Finn's probably going to try to place it to find one of his teammates. Good defensive header from Kaya, trying to go high and wide. As the play's still not over, as it finds John Maliza. John going to shoot the fantastic switch all the way to Martini Ray.
Still with him. Oh, poked away by MJ Libre. The crowd approving of that one. But here comes Gavin Wentz. Did not up to slide it to Martini. Shuto. Ham wanted the flag raised. As there's a banger of a goal. Shuto Komaki showing his emotion here with the obvious occasion. One hand on the trophy for Kaya FC. Closing in on making it a three-peat.
Shuto Komaki, the little samurai, taking what little angle he has over there on the far right side. I didn't think he had much of an angle. And catching Roberto Llamas on the short side of his goal.
I needed a split second to process that.
I thought it went to the side of the net.
There's a look at the replay. Shuto sending it in, putting it in, and as expected, gets his yellow for removing his shirt. As was the case earlier for Manila Digger title contenders. Sudyao getting a yellow also for the same celebration. End of the day, or it's the end of the regular season, and that's when you get those intense celebrations. And after all, it's all for the championship. The Stallion side deflated, and Manila Digger hopefuls deflated. Digger need a draw here to nab the title. I'm still in awe from that finish.
Claro, from whatever angle we took of that replay, he hardly had an angle. As a keeper, Kiara, you don't want to be on the short side of that goal.
Jan Meliza shifting, opting to go through. 1-on-4. And the defense did just enough.
That wasn't his weaker right foot. But Roberto Llamas exposing the short side of his goal. Great skill from Shuto Komaki. Accuracy from distance it was.
There was no angle. Shuto made an angle. But 11 minutes and change remaining. Let's remember again. Laguna out to play spoiler. Regardless of results, Stallion will finish in 5th. MJ Libre securing. Trying to get through. Couldn't shoot. Yamazaki was there with the slide. They'll cut it back. Bodies all over the place as it is cleared off.
Weak appeals for handball there from Stallion Laguna.
Shiraki. Off the head of his former student, Gavin Wentz. That one was onside.
Yes, they've been sending numbers up, but that leaves them exposed to this.
Our referee, Raymar de los Santos, says, get up.
Well,
the Kaya side still bleeding for that one.
they're up 2-0. A bit of a mercy non-call there from the referee. The yellow card given to
John.
Jan Meliza. Is it for descent or diving? As he is a man and we don't have this thing in the women's league,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
As Kiara did say.
I mean, it kind of, from the angle that we see it from up here, it looked like he got pulled down. So
It looked to me as if somebody got across his legs.
that's what it looked like for me too. But, you know, or he just dove. We don't know. But even with John, it takes a lot for him to go down, though.
Saito. The long ball successful. Barfo. Barfo, their addition again in the last transfer window. Joined the team mid-season. Meliza. Sending it. Ham. Headed it to Llamas. Laguna desperate for offense here. Libre. Placito to Shiraki. It's been that matchup. Yamazaki versus Shiraki.
A little bit of a rhyme.
As it's at one! The shot is denied.
What a defensive play by Akito Saito, keeping that outside from his goal.
Now you say defense will win them the championship.
It's been, I was going to say, it's been textbook defense by the Kaya backline that won them this game tonight. It's really, if you're an up-and-coming player, if you're a young player.
And Finn McDaniel giving a bit of the body check to Gavin Wentz, who had the clear intention of wasting time, as both get booked with a yellow. And Gavin Wentz being a kid, he's not afraid of the big boys.
No.
He's one of the tall ones himself.
But that was a free kick of Stallion that was delayed by Muenz. Pretty much.
We're going to see a change in keeper for Stallion, Laguna FC.
Driven forward by Finn McDaniel. The diving header, though, is no good. And with what you were saying, the change of keeper, they're going to put in Alvin Orebadulia. This will be his maiden appearance
For Stallion.
for Stallion. Yes, he was with One to Gig in the first half of the season, or the 2024 half.
Well, this is the last 6 minutes of the season, so if he hasn't seen action,
An opportunity, of course, to get a run. But there was a thumbs up from Coach Clint to Llamas. Here's Galiana Trujillo.
Roberto is not one of those keepers who is prone to making mistakes. One of the most technically sound keepers I've seen around. And he's had a decent season.
Freddie punched this one. Open goal! But outside. It's going to be a goal kick, though. And Shiraki will have to be careful. He has a yellow. A warning given to Martini Ray. You got to play all of your cards here if you're Kaya. You're already, or you have a hand already on the trophy. And Stallion throwing everything that they've got. What do you say? It's that game of pretty much attrition, or who just wants it more?
It's getting emotions are starting to fire up a bit with the last 5 minutes of this game. 5 minutes before additional time.
But I'd like to look at things big picture too. If you're Kaya, Kaya may be drained when it's time for them to play in the final series to determine who'll play in the Shopee Cup. Ori to Gavin.
But there have been many points in the season when it seems Kaya is drained, claro, and they have that ability to, again, they have this poise. They have this communal poise across everyone in their playing team, in their organization. Nothing phases them.
And during their AFC and even Shopee Cup campaign, the community would doubt their ability to play international football. And there were even times we hear the criticism from people saying that they do not deserve to be on that stage, but they're proving it now.
I would say we also as a community have to do better to prepare the teams we have competing internationally. when Kaya played its first international game this 24-25 season, the league had not yet started. So they didn't have any competitive games under their belt.
No fitness that time, I remember, against KL
I'm
City.
sure Kiara will agree that the toughest game is the first game coming out of weeks, if not months of training.
Oh yeah, for sure. That happened to me coming from an injury. So it's definitely without having obviously team training, it could be a bit difficult to get back into the fitness. Obviously with like game fitness. Game fitness is a bit different than personal fitness. That's what I like to think.
When a season starts, it takes about 2 games to get into game fitness, game tempo. That's the other important thing, right? Fitness is one thing, tempo is the other.
Just the timing of sorts, being in unison, having that chemistry. Parfo, MJ Libre.
Oh, Barfo versus Lee. Oh, that was a jiu-jitsu move by Claudio to take down Barfo.
Barfo clinging onto him, I think, just to save his landing.
That was a throwdown. Well, MJ Libre tried to get in the way of Barfo. Claudio caught him and threw him down.
No gentle save here, where he says, I got you.
No.
But this will take precious seconds off the clock.
Yes, because if you're the one playing catch-up, the clock is valuable to you. It looks like he's getting some treatment to his head. That's a very hard binyan pitch that he was thrown down on. But this delay favors nobody but Kaya.
With that, we are about 2 minutes remaining until additional time in this game. But Kaya with the insurance goal. Laguna have been left frustrated. And we'll add Digger too, of course, as they wait on. Rebadulia just setting up his defense. With Jan Melisa to take this. We have the whistle already. Some extra reminders to the players. It was headed. It will stay with Iloilo. They're in yellow and black. Stallion, Laguna in all white. Thank you for joining us on matchday.ph and on the YouTube page of the Philippines Football League. Alongside Dennis Lucindo and Chiara Fontanilla, this is Claro Manzano. As we are bringing you the commentary for this one. And at this rate, Kaya will seal the title over Manila Digger. Digger did play earlier. Digger had to get the win, and they need to hope for a draw or a Stallion loss.
A lesson in shielding the ball there from Jan Melisa. It always amazes me. Jan is, I think, could be argued, he's probably one of the shortest players in the league this season. But he's got this ability to cover the ball and cover it well against opponents of any size.
Well, just to correct myself again, Digger need a draw or a Kaya loss. As I just lost my train of thought there earlier, or just got the words mixed up. But it seems this will go the way of Kaya FC as they've been managing it. They've been attacking. They've been depriving Stallion of attacking chances. Gavin Wentz. Casambre. Shiraki securing. A shin guard just flew as Yamazaki cleared it off. Seven minutes here. This will take forever if you're Kaya, and this will just go by quickly if you're Stallion.
Definitely. The last 7 minutes is crucial. Bodies are tired. Minds are tired. Everything it comes down to the last play.
I'd like to think at this point you're numb already. You don't feel it. The goal, the prize is almost there. 7 minutes. 7 minutes to force your heart and nerve and sinew, as Kipling says. And that's what Kaya is doing. To their credit, Stallion is still giving their all to at least get the first goal, one goal, any goal dangerous from Kaishu, but not ill-intentioned. And Matt Nieras acknowledged that.
Just giving that 110% as the trophy.
Again,
up for
Clara,
grabs.
this Kaya poise, it amazes me.
Over to the left now. Sea Dog, Shraki, taking on Shuto Komaki. Nieras tried to get involved also. Barfo shielding it, absorbing the contact, getting the foul. The time being taken off the clock. I'd like to think he knew what he was getting into at that point in time.
He did, because the normal run of play would say if he's got that break, he's gonna sprint up. But instead of sprinting forward, he delayed, shielded, waited for the contact. Because the plan is to go down, waste 30 seconds at least. Now we have 4.5 minutes to go.
With another Kaya player needing attention. That's more time taken on, so we could expect added time on top of the minutes we have already. Well, that will be up to Raymar de los Santos. There's that frustration here for Laguna. Well, you could see that lockdown focus for Kaya. Conate Bandiogo is going to enter in a bit too.
And Claro, let me take this opportunity to commend not just Kaya and Manila Digger for making the race for first so exciting, but every team from the first team to the 10th team this season in the Philippines Football League, because without a doubt, it's been the most competitive season ever. Third place goes to One Taguig FC and a spot in the postseason of the PFL. Fourth place, Cebu FC. Fifth will be Stallion Laguna. Sixth, Davao Aguilas FC. Seventh, after their loss earlier, seventh goes to Maharlika, who overtook Loyola FC with their win over the PFF Youth yesterday. And eighth goes to that eighth goes to Loyola.
Yes.
Ninth to the PFF Youth Development Team or Youth National Team. And 10th, Menjola FC.
And Menjola unable to reach the double-digit mark for points. And what is a difficult season for them.
It has been. I mean, there's as much as there's a lot going on the pitch, there's also a lot going on off it. And changes can be good, as we saw in Maharlika, in Loyola, even the PFF youth team. But changes can also be disruptive, as we saw by Menjola's poor showing this season.
With that, of course, those teams will be out with a vengeance. They'll definitely be keen on bouncing back. In a matter of minutes, we can confirm the trophy for Iloilo. What's running through the minds of these players, possibly, Kiara?
How much time is left?
I appreciate that answer, of course, which is unique. Giving us... you get where I'm coming from. You're keeping it real.
Honestly, it's like, I think obviously they're trying to keep their mind like how much time is left and do we have enough time to really make a difference.
So the final treatment might be to Freddy Cortez, who's down in his box.
Sea-Dog Schaffner trying to get him to get up immediately, given they were teammates last season.
Yeah, he's saying, good buddy, get up, get off your ASS, let's just finish this game.
But after this, Dennis, we do have the awarding ceremonies,
We
right?
do, so please stay tuned. The awarding ceremony will be setting up as soon as the final whistle blows and the teams exchange their sporting handshakes. We will be giving away individual prizes as well as the championship awarding. But before all that, of course, we will recognize the man of the match, which we will go to now while he is on the field. Oh no, he's been... Okay, so we will save that for after he comes into view.
As Jan Melisa is... Well, I
Well,
did spoil it.
you called it, Claro.
It was going to be you, sorry.
Go recognize.
It's Jan Melisa, as he is in the technical area already. I was subbed off. We are past the 7 minutes of allotted time already. And when I attended a game of the national team versus Maldives, the way the announcement is made now for additional time, they say there will be a minimum of X minutes additional time. And we're just awaiting things, of course. Kaya's fans, their staff anticipating it. Hugs, handshakes, high fives between the Kaya staff. Coach Noel Marcaida, Mr. Ariel Cervantes, Paul Tolentino. They're here also. Lucas Del Rosario's in the grandstand and is recovering from an injury. There's the anticipation in the air already. One side of the grandstand celebrating the title. And the other side, of course, got the Manila Digger. Manila Digger because they needed Kaya to lose this game or draw. But Ernest Barfo is right there on the pitch. But there's the free kick. I am guessing that they are going to play this to the corner.
Or little touch and then shield it.
With the area that they are in, right?
Yeah.
They're pretty much.
That's what I would do.
They're wide enough, right? Despite of that, there's still the tension. You gotta credit Laguna. It's a non-bearing game, but they gave their all, as all professional teams should do. And it will still stay with Kaya. It's about to be a three-peat. Once upon a time, they were the hunters. And they became the hunted. They got to fend off the challenges here and there as they had to defend their title. And it is going to be a successful defense again. The goal scorers this evening, Jan Melisa and Shuto Komaki. Shuto got booked for his celebration. And he made it worth it. But there you go. And still your still your Philippines Football League champions. The Kaya FC Iloilo. A three-peat for them. It's got to be difficult to describe that championship feeling as a football player, especially in the pro ranks.
Yeah, of course. Definitely as a pro, coming in the pro ranks as a champion, especially as a repetitive champion, you have like expectations to meet, you know, and having Kaya, this is their third champion now, going back to the Champions League, you know, they're expecting to do better than they did last year.
And as we've said, there were doubts with this Kaya team and the way, or with their tough string of results in the ACL2, the Shopee Cup. But they did get their act together as they found their fitness. The teams threw everything that they had here in hopes of dethroning them. But here at the Binyan Football Stadium in this 2024-2025 Philippines Football League season, Kaya once more with the right to say it and to chant Una Una Kaya Kaya, taking the trophy which they say is rightfully theirs. You gotta feel here for Laguna, who are hoping to play spoilers. For the Manila Digger side, they did what they could, but they were aware that it was a tough task because they had to rely on the result of another game, and that's something you can't control. But Jan Meliz is our man of the match. Iconic there. What a shot. Showing off that t-shirt. Handshakes, high fives, and hugs all over the Kaya FC Iloilo side. But with Laguna, they are going to show their appreciation to the fans over on the other side. You gotta love this moment for Philippine football. We are, or please stay with us as we are going to have the awarding ceremonies also in a bit. But there you go. Stallion Laguna having a moment with their supporters. The roadside crew present. And bigger number, of course, with this being the last day of the regular season. But we do have our final series. And that competition, or that is the postseason competition, where Kaya will face Cebu and Digger will play Wantagig. And the winners there will get to square off for the final. The winner will book a seat to represent the PFL and the Philippines in the Shopee Cup. Please stand by again as we will just prepare for the awarding ceremony. But the score ends again. It's 2-0. But we will sign off first from the game, but we will see you again in our awarding ceremony to crown Kaya-FC Iloilo and to acknowledge the individual winners. But first, we will give you the highlights to keep you company.
Zoom in, pababa, dahan-dahan. Mga ganyan kaya. Tilt down. Tilt down, okay. Wait lang. Wait lang kuya. Oops. Oh. Wait lang, wait lang. Ito kuya, okay na to? Oo. Dalawa. Tatlo, bali tatlo pala na kay binigay ko kay ano, dyan yung isa. Tapos dalawa nasa camera ko. Okay na to kuya Luis. Kuya Luis, okay na to? Okay. Okay, okay. Kuya, hindi na isusum na.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's been the tightest Philippines Football League season ever, and it's taking us to the 90th of 19 league matches to decide the champion of the 2024 to 2025 season. But before we get to the awardees for this season, the league thanks the following companies for their support: Sports Stride, Gilligan's, PLDT Enterprise, and Matchday Media for their support, and coverage throughout this season and the last. Ladies and gentlemen, we now call on the Philippine Football Federation Competitions Committee Chairperson, Ms. Lovely Tababa, to hand out the medals and the trophies for our winners. Again, we would like to call our PFL Competitions Committee Chairperson, Ms. Lovely Tababa, to hand out the medals and trophies of our winners in the Philippines Football League 2024 to 2025 season. And now it's time to recognize our individual winners for this season. First, the Golden Gloves Award. The Golden Gloves Award is given to the goalkeeper who has defended his goals, earning the most number of clean sheets for the 2024 to 2025 season. Ladies and gentlemen, the Golden Gloves Award goes to number 1 of Kaya-Iloilo FC, Jun Badalik.
And it's on to our awarding ceremony right here at the Binyan Football Stadium as we just concluded the regular season of the Philippines Football League. And Jun Badalik is the winner of the Golden Glove Award as their team is based in Cebu. When we talk about Dynamic Herb Cebu FC, he is not here, but we will see Jun Badalik rightfully claim his award as Cebu will take part in the final series, which will be the postseason competition here. But for those who just tuned in, Kaya-Iloilo bagged or made it a three-peat in the Philippines Football League, rightfully saying once more that they are on top here of Philippine football. So Jun Badalik, our Golden Glove winner, and we'll take it on to Sekou Cisse. 16 goals. He built an unassailable lead throughout this campaign. He last scored in February, went on the drought. Well, Sekou Cisse, the winner here. Congratulations to him, of course. And giving out the awards, we have the PFF Competitions Committee Chairperson, Lovely Tababa. Congrats to Jun Badalik and Sekou Cisse. Shuto Komaki, the tournament MVP, also called a Golden Ball Award at times, but with this, Shuto Komaki joining that list of greats at Kaya-Iloilo. And once upon a time, there was Daiso Horikoshi. Well, here's Shuto Komaki, the MVP. Congratulations to him, of course. He was a top player when it came to assisting and for scoring for Kaya-Iloilo. A massive congratulations, of course.
For this season, a total of 43 points over their 18 days. They are the first one out for the season, and they also earned a nomination to the qualifiers for the AFC Champions League 2. Ladies and gentlemen, our first runner
Sabi mo kaya
up
okay
for
lang.
the PFL 2024-2025 season.
Okay na, tama yan.
Manila Digger FC.
Field down ba? Para gitna? Or
And
okay
people did,
down?
or people of course, did pit Manila Digger as a challenger to Kaya-Iloilo, and they definitely gave them a run for their money. Digger, the only team to defeat Kaya-Iloilo along with Davao Aguilas. But here, a spectacular improvement from Manila Digger as they finished in the middle of the table last PFL. Here they are now, number 2.
Bakit ayaw pumunta ng Digger?
Ano kaya? Hindi sila kumain.
Let's recognize the players of the Champions League. Number 98 on the Federal Versus. Number 3, Amigo Psycho. Number 7, Jordan Lake. Number 8, Maureen Agnes. Number 12, Maureen Diallo. Number 13, Jaja Melissa. Number 14, Green MVP Shuto Wawaki. Number 23, Simone Roca. Number 35, Joshua Pugas. Number 44, team captain Audrey Messi. Number 88, Aishwi Yamazaki. Number 16, Nathan Bata. Number 4, Evan Lawrence. Number 6, Mark Winston. Number 9, Ernest Barfo. Number 15, Marco Casante. Number 22, Fish Arboleda. Number 24, Sherman Casindaran. Number 26, Olafin Maniolu. Number 33, Julian Moreno. And number 77, Martini Ray. The team officials of Kaya-Iloilo are led by their team manager, Mr. Carmelo Tapusame, and their head coach, Mr. Hugo Shide, and their president and general manager, Mr. Paul Valentino. The other team officials of Kaya-Iloilo are assistant coaches Oliver Molina, Werner Paila, Warren Fernandez Jr., the trainer is Asa Amigo. The team featured therapists are Joshua Castello and Luis Mariana. The team doctor is Markel Eugenio. Their general coordinator is Ariel Sanchez. And his head is Geraldine Alegre. Media officers, John Vincent Ray. The equipment manager is Nancy Bautista. And their kit manager is Joyce Asas.
A three-peat right here for Kaya-Iloilo by winning the 2024-2025 Philippines Football League season. They claimed the crown in the 2022-2023 edition, defended it in the 24 competition, and now with this one, the 2024 edition that ran all the way up to early 2025. It's a three-peat for Kaya FC, as we had, or as we acknowledged earlier, they're different. We acknowledge not just the players, but their coaching staff, their hardworking crew, led by led by General Manager Mr. Paul Tolentino. Kaya FC back where they rightfully say, or what they rightfully say is theirs. They'll be representing the Philippines again in the AFC Champions League 2 group stage. And they'll want more, of course. They'll try to win the final series and also play in the Shopee Cup. But here you go. Congratulations to Kaya FC Iloilo. Kaya on top of the podium. Kings of Philippine football. A massive congratulations to them, of course. And they had to earn it the tough way. They needed the win here. Anything less than a win would have given the title to Manila Digger. We also tip off our hats to Manila Digger. They came close. But they also got to weather the storm. But Kaya just edging them by a solitary point after 90 games total in the season. Or if you break it down, each team got to play 18 games, 14 wins, 2 draws, 2 losses. They bounced back. They proved doubters wrong. And with a goal difference of 33 after bagging or scoring 48 goals, conceding 15. Not the best offense or not the best defense, but they came, they saw, they conquered. They won the games, of course, which absolutely mattered. A massive congratulations again to Kaya. And you have to appreciate their staff, of course, who are being acknowledged down in the ground. As we've mentioned, the likes of Ma'am Den, Ma'am Jed, right there with their coordinator, Mr. Ariel Cervantes. They'd be putting in the work also when they would host when Kaya would host overseas games, whether it be in the AFC level or the AFF level. But regulars again of representing the Philippines overseas or playing in the different club competitions. Well, we'll give you the pictures right here at the Binyan Football Stadium. Now take this in as we will sign off. Well, we'll continue to give you the sights and sounds at the Binyan Football Stadium, and thank you for joining us on matchday.ph and on the YouTube page of the Philippines Football League. And this was Claudio Manzano, your commentator for this game, along with Mr. Dennis Lucindo and Chiara Fontanilla. But big thank you also on behalf of our hardworking crew, with our producers, floor directors, cameramen, directors, and technical crew. It's goodbye for now, but we will eventually see you later, and there'll be that day again for Philippine football, and we still have the postseason tournament, the final series, to determine, of course, who will represent the Philippines at the club level for the AFF Club Championship, or the Shopee Cup, as they know. See you, and good night.